Welcome back to another episode of Falling Over Garages and Delivered by Dodges. We are back at it on the Tiara. It's been a long last couple months, I would say. Alright, so I've had this thing sitting in here for about a month now. I had a local tow company deliver it to me. And I've been chomping at the bit to work on this thing, so tonight's a night. It's a Monday before Thanksgiving. I've had a lot on my plate lately. I had that tractor in here that I was fixing. Got that given to me for free, so I had to get it running and get it out of here. I had 2 deer tags to fill. Got those done. And then we also started a bedroom remodel on our house. That's done now too. So finally got some time to work on this thing. So we're going to get after it. Go ahead and WD-40 everything under here because I know that, oh, my can's just about gone. Starter, you're going to get some. Bell housing area, you're going to get some. All of it. Linkage. But yeah, the plan is to get that 8RC from my Hilux put into this. I've tried to no avail to get this thing unlocked, and it is seized up pretty tight. So I will be pulling it apart just for funsies. We tried to soak it in diesel for like 2 days, and then I came back, hit it again, and soaked it for another week. Won't even rock back and forth. The starter was not having it. Jumped the starter, put all kinds of voltage to it. She was not having it. So yeah, pulled the motor out of my Hilux. I'm going to be 2RZ swapping that. And I always thought, like, what am I going to do with the motor if I pull it out? Like, no one's going to want to buy a Toyota 8RC. So one thing led to another, and I see this guy sitting on the side of the road during cool Deadwood nights, and I didn't even get out of the truck. I just pulled over and I was kind of looking at it, sitting on a trailer. And my coworker says, hey, that's got a Toyota emblem on it. And I'm like, what? So I get out of the truck and I check it out, and sure enough, we got a 1965 Toyota Tiara. So naturally, it's junk. It doesn't run. I have to have it. So now it's in my garage. But it all worked out pretty perfectly because that 8RC, I think, is going to bolt right up to those motor mounts and everything. I think that thing will set right in there. Now then, I am not going to bore everybody with trying to film every single thing pulling this thing out of here. I'll probably just get right to the good part of me yanking this thing out of the hole, because I really don't feel like editing a whole hour and a half of footage. And yes, I'm going straight to vice grips on this thing. I'm imagining we're going to have some broken bolts and some tetanus shots after this is all said and done. And I'm not going to be cute about getting some of this stuff out of here because it is so rotten and so old. And like the heater, I'm never going to use a heater in this thing, so you know what? Pocket knife engaged. Irreplaceable rubber? Yeah, I know. That's fine. I did also end up having to go buy my own freaking shop crane, i.e. cherry picker, engine hoist, whatever. If you're searching on a marketplace for one of these, you better be well versed in what those are nicknamed, because nobody calls them what you think they'd call them. And I couldn't find any locally that were used, so the old Harbor Freight came in handy for that one. Alright, one thing I'm learning working on this and the Hilux, there ain't a lot of room for activities in these freaking things. Working on them is not exactly the most fun I've ever had. But hopefully we can get this thing dialed in with that motor. The overall goal I would say, is to kind of have a little bit of a gambler type car. I already put the meats on it. I am gonna have to put a little bit of a lift on the rear to clear those, but we'll worry about that later. I really want to see this car run and drive again. I think the brake system is probably going to be a real treat to tackle. I'm sure it's just riddled with rust. I'll go ahead and pull this alternator out of the way because it is partying with that motor mount. But we're getting close to being able to pull this thing out, so. Gonna be kind of cool if some of these parts I can use for spares on that other motor. It's kind of looking like the starter might be the same and the alternator. This carburetor, as old as it is, I actually know a lady with a Toyota Corona that I might be able to sell it to her, so that's pretty neat. Probably have to go through it completely. So I mean, it's only been sitting for 40, 50 years, but we can make a little money back. I won't be mad. Another thing I'm finding out working on this thing is that if a bolt doesn't break off, it's loose already. So that's kind of cool. Oh, I think I'm tightening that one. That's fine. Well, just maybe I've been tightening them the whole time and they've been breaking off. I don't know. What is righty tighty and lefty loosey anyway? And the plan is to yank this whole motor and transmission out in one shot. Because I'm pretty sure this guy just unbolts and I can just get that grill out of the way and get the whole works out of here. I'm not even going to try to bother with bell housing bolts. It's so tight under this thing, it's not even funny. You know, after working on the exhaust bolts for way too long and realizing that I don't need to save the exhaust because that has a totally different manifold, I'm gonna go ahead and do what anyone would do. All right, after getting this thing jacked up in the air, where it's probably gonna need to be anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and rally this with the exhaust because I'm not gonna undo it. There's no point in that. It doesn't match up with that manifold anyway. It's probably all going in the scrap bin, so that'll be fine. I don't need it. Look at that cute little muffler. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay, we'll start from the other side now. Okay, no more messing with those. Pretty sure I got everything disconnected here. I'm gonna go ahead and get my picker put together, probably go have some dinner, drink about 7 beers, and then come back out here and try to figure out what I forgot to disconnect. All right, we got the cherry picker all dialed in. Didn't even have to read the instructions because I'm a man. So I wasn't lying when I said I was gonna go have dinner and drink about 7 beers. We're back at it now. I'm gonna pull the cross member bolts, let the drive shaft kind of do whatever it's gonna do. When I decide to start tugging on this, probably just flop out onto the ground. And I think mostly everything's disconnect. Oh, I'm saying that, but then I see a hose that I need to disconnect. If that's already cut, which, oh yeah. Oh, we don't need to worry about disconnecting that one now. Anyway, yeah, I think I'm just gonna start giving her all away and see if this thing comes loose, comes out of here. If you watch my channel long enough, that I love working on stuff like this. Stuff that you really just don't have to care about, you know, like your main tool being a Sawzall. I think a Sawzall did about 80% of the work that I've done tonight. So we'll just have to see if that has worked or not. Okay. And it's kind of cool because about half of the bolts that I've touched tonight have either broke off or already been loose. And I just want to give a shout out to whatever this thing is. Just a bit drive freaking DeWalt. I've done countless jobs with this thing. Well, things are moving. Can't forget the yoga mat that smells like the old ladies that frequent the rec center. Shout out to the rec center for giving me free yoga mats to work on here. One of the few bolts that I didn't put any WD-40 on is not having it. Okay, spoke too soon about the DeWalt. Oh, I feel like that thing should have dropped after I did that. Is there a mount in the middle? Oh, there's a mount in the middle. Well, I think I'm just going to tug on the tranny and the motor and see what happens. See if that thing just decides to separate. Come on, fella. You're coming with me. Oh, and I forgot to take that stuff out. I better do that. See what I mean by either breaking off or just already loose? Anyway, all the guys out there editing their own GoPro stuff, that's pretty impressive because I am not looking forward to editing all this footage. See, when you have a GoPro, you just film everything and then worry about it later. When I've been doing it on my phone, I'm very selective about what I'm filming and how long I'm filming and all that good stuff. Oh yeah, another broken one. Look at that. That's fine. Worry about that later. Did I even do anything? Oh, I got these side ones here. For the ease of not having to set up camera shots and all that, this GoPro is kind of nice in that aspect, or whatever. Another broken one. We are 1 for 4 right now. No, 1 for 5. Oh, this one's gonna be breaking off too. And you're probably saying, why don't you take your time? Why don't you lube those up and work them back and forth? Maybe put some heat to them. Well, for the same reason this thing took me a month or 2 to actually work on it from the time that I got it home. I just don't have time. That one's actually turning. Remarkable. So we're probably going to be 2 for 6 on these little core support bolts. The suspense is killing me. I had to go to dinner, eat with the family, put the boys to bed, all that good stuff. And I haven't gotten to work on this thing in over a month. And all I can think about is how close is that motor over there going to be to mounting right up in this thing. Look at that. They don't make them like they used to. Look at that thing. What a relic. Dirt bike. Hold that for about 4 weeks, please. Okay. Where was I? Oh, something's not having it. What are we caught on? That's not it. Oh, there's like a, it's like a brake line or a clutch line still attached to the tranny. Whatever this guy is, should probably get him yanked off. A couple of 10 mils. I'll take care of that. I'm filming all of this part because this is the most satisfying part of working on anything that you're trying to pull a motor out of. Finding those pieces that you forgot to disconnect or just didn't take time to look for. Okay. That is no longer hanging out with that. Oh. I gained a few inches there. I feel like it might just be the drive shaft that's hanging us up right now. Oh, there it goes. You hear it? Look at that crusty beast. The hell was that? Well, you know, in hindsight, I might have to unbolt that cross member from the tranny because it's not going to come up through. But now it's in a much better place to do so. So, find our 12s. Jockey under there. See if we can't get that thing free. Does that thing turn? Not really. Look at that. 50-year-old gear oil just partying with the floor. Go ahead and get all my tools gunked up. That'd be fine. Kind of curious to see what the similarities are between this tranny and the one that was in the Hilux. This thing's 3 on the tree, or 4 on the tree, I guess, technically. And the Hilux is just a 4-speed. Alright. That should make things a little easier. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. I don't know which way I'm supposed to go. Out is the answer. She's coming. Probably got to disconnect that line. Are you going to break loose with a 10? Probably not. Oh, she did. Look at that. Didn't even twist the line. Oh, it might be twisting the line. Might be speaking a little too soon here. Oh yeah, she's twisting the line. Okay, well, you know what that means. Everything's different anyway, so freedom. Now I gotta remember, I think in, yeah, no, I need to go this way. Get that thing to level out some, since I got the tranny still hooked to it. I don't know if I explained this last time I pulled the motor out of the Hilux, but working on a dirt floor garage and then having these things has made a world of difference. Okay, she's liberated with a little help from the Sawzall, tool of choice for the night. Get this thing swung out of the way. And I think I'm just going to pick up that 8RC and see if she'll go in the hole. Alright, for experimental purposes only, I'm going to go ahead and get this cherry picker hooked back up to, well, get it disconnected from there, hook it up to that bad boy, and see if I can't drop it in the hole. I am chomping at the bit to know if this is going to work or not. I'm kind of looking at the oil pan. I mean, it looks like it's going to be money. The motor mount locations look like they're going to be money. The size of this thing is just a scotch bigger. So I guess we're going to find out. But everything's the same. The exhaust is on the right side. Fuel pump's the same side. I don't see why it wouldn't work. We're going to see. We're going to see about that though. And I gotta tell you, that gear lube that's coming out of that transmission that is all over the place, that stuff has some smell to it. I don't know what they put in that stuff back in the day, but she is ripe. I mean, look at the coolant passages in this thing, just totally rusted off. I don't know why I'm trying so hard to get that back in, but need something longer than that. Who knows what I did with the original? Well, that's why we have one of these. There's about probably 5 or 6 dead Toyotas in this box, if I had to guess. Dialed in there. This point actually has a lift spot, so I do like filming with the GoPro for the pure fact that I am getting a lot more done a lot quicker. Oh, yeah, dummy. Why don't you undo your strap here, bud? I got the sneaking suspicion this motor is quite a bit heavier than the other one. Go ahead and throw your back out, trying to get this wheel up off the carpet there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, she's not having it. We're gonna need a bigger bar, buddy. What do we got over here? Well, thank you. There we go. Really? What a struggle. You guys need to tell everybody you know to subscribe to my channel so I can get rich off YouTube and corporate America and pave this frickin' garage. I really appreciate all 64 of you watching the videos, but could use all the help I can get. Jack her to the moon. See if she sits where she needs to sit. I don't even wear the... Did I leave the motor mounts in the Hilux? Might have to go up and have a gander. Can't mount nothing without the motor mounts. I don't know, maybe there's the same on this thing. They kind of look the same. Same spacing. Well, should we find out? Crusty. Old Faithful here. I don't know what the torque rating is on these things, but you know to try something different when it starts to smell like you should be trying something different. Oh, that is definitely not the same. Nope. I mean, pretty close. Alright, gotta go find the motor mounts for the Hilux. Okay, scratch that. Got to looking, and they're sitting right here. Along with the alternator and starter and all that good stuff. So, same distance, about, or who knows which side goes to what, but kind of looks like those are gonna work. Maybe they're a little off. I don't know. Probably should have marked them left or right, huh? Because they got different deals going on here. Who knows? I don't know why one side would be longer than the other. I got the sneaking suspicion this one goes on this side to clear that header. So that's what I'm gonna go with. Put the short one on the passenger side, long one on the driver's side. 4 similar bolts. I bet those are motor mounts. Yes, those are definitely motor mounts. I'm gonna guess that these 2, 3, 4. Those 4 are probably the ones I'm looking for. Alright, moment of truth. Let's see if this thing mounts up. Close enough. I think I might have to pull it out just a little bit. Okay, so from what I can tell, we are dang close. That water pump outlet is not going to be happy. I do got to go back about 3 inches, but even if I do that, I think we still got some stuff to work on here. Let's just get a little more in position. All right, we are unbelievably close to making this work. Engine sitting on the mounts. Lower radiator hose is probably gonna have some trickery to make it work, but actually not really. I mean, it's got a slight kink in it, but I think with a little finesse, she will be dialed in. Other than that, I'm gonna try to mount these motor mounts up, and I think this thing's gonna sit in here just fine. The exhaust is even clearing. I'll have to probably get a little bit custom with that, but we can sacrifice everything from the Hilux to make that work. So this motor mount is almost happy. I'm gonna try to just get the bolts started and see where it sits. But yeah, that thing's in there and that thing runs. So this thing's gonna run, and that makes me pretty happy. Okay, well, those motor mounts are not going to work, but these are essentially the same dang thing. If I take those motor mounts apart right here, like these ones are, I think I could just put these back in as a base and bolt them right up to those studs. Like these studs. So, back out she comes. We're going to give that a try real quick. Alright, we're about to do some funky stuff with these motor mounts. So I'm pretty sure think those bases are exactly the same. But I'm still going to keep them side correct here. So I think if I do this number, oh, we'll see if this is going to work. I think if I take the Hilux motor mounts and they have a baby with whatever motor mounts these are, everything should mount up. Oh yeah, go ahead and cross thread it right off the bat. That's a great idea. Maybe just use the same nut that came off, huh? I don't think those are directional. Guess we'll find out the hard way. Okay, make sure I'm doing this right. Yeah, those are gonna sit in there just nice and happily. That's one side. Okay, in theory this should work. Round two. Oh, she just sits right in there. Beautiful. Okay, so here's where we're at. Working on that motor mount bolt down in there, or both those motor mount bolts, and they're gonna line up. Everything's gonna work. That lower radiator hose is not happy. Gonna have to figure out something for that. Some kind of elbow or something to jockey that out of the way. I might just see if I can put a spring on it, keep it from kinking or something. But I think I'm gonna have to pull this motor back out because that is wanting to party with that inner fender well. So I think that's gonna get some Sawzall treatment. The header is just touching that, so I can't get that last bolt started. But other than that, this thing looks right. I think the radiator clearance might be a little iffy, but that should dial back a little bit once I get the transmission mounted and get this this side will drop down some. So I think I'm gonna call it a night. It's dang close, and I confirm my suspicion that this thing is gonna actually work in here. That's pretty exciting. Gonna have to figure out all the braking and stuff later, but I have hope that this motor is gonna run in this crummy old car and I'll be able to do stuff with it. Not sure if I bent the wheels or if just them being trailer wheels, they're not getting very hub centric enough. But both sides are doing that. I noticed that while I was dinking around underneath it. I mean, that's not gonna fly. Might have to rig up some wheel spacers or something to get those wheels to sit on straight. They don't look bent from what I can tell, but I do know when I was getting this thing towed home, I had to lead the tow truck up to my house because he didn't know where to go. And he said he was looking in his rearview mirror watching these tires just up partying. So we're gonna have to address that, but yeah, I think that's a good stopping point for now. Next video will probably be me cutting that thing out, getting this thing to sit where it's supposed to sit, and getting the transmission up in there, seeing how that's gonna work. I'm hopeful that the cross member is gonna be in the same spot, but I'm not gonna hold my breath either. It does look like it's in the same spot with maybe some minor work, some trading out mounts and whatnot between cross members, just like I did the motor mounts. Maybe we can get that dialed in too. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe, tell your friends so I can get rich off this stuff. You know how it goes.